Hello and welcome back to Terrier Nation. I'm your host, Haley Alvarez-Lauto.
And I'm Ryan Whitehouse. On this episode of Terrier Nation, Mason Jablonsky and Henry Dinh-Price bring us the latest from the softball team, and Brooke Alessi catches us up to speed on men's lacrosse.
We'll hear from Beal and Sophia Azzano as they update us on the men's ice hockey team. And Allison DeWitt will give us a lowdown on the women's lacrosse team.
All this and more tonight on Terrier Nation.
Thanks, Ryan and Haley. The Boston University softball squad has sprinted out to their best start in program history, going 27-3 overall and winning all 3 of their conference games so far. The team is riding an 8-game win streak and has shown no signs of slowing down as they swing for the fences and chase their 6th straight Patriot League championship. I'm Mason Jablonsky. That's Henry Dinh-Price. Henry, what's helped power BU to their start for the ages?
Well, Mason, it starts with sophomore ace Casey Ricard. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better pitcher in all of college softball than Ricard. She was a standout in her freshman season, earning Patriot League Rookie of the Year and All-League first-team honors. But she has taken her game to another level this season. Ricard had a 2.43 earned run average last year. This year, just 1.46. She has thrown a perfect game and 2 no-hitters, and her elite performances have not gone unnoticed. Ricard has already earned 2 D1 Softball Pitcher of the Week awards this season. And she has been a powerhouse, already notching over 100 innings pitched in 22 appearances. She threw 170 pitches in a 9-inning shutout against Army. And yet, the quality has not dipped once. Ricard has 13 wins, 12 complete games, and her 9 shutouts are tied for the most in the nation. The sophomore star has been unhittable, and her stellar play will be the #1 factor for a potential postseason run.
Yeah, Henry, you're absolutely right to sing Ricard's praises. That's a DP dinger. But Allison Boaz has also been outstanding in the circle for BU. Boaz has pitched 76 2/3 innings with a cool 1.83 ERA, racking up 10 wins so far in her 5th season with BU. The 2-time Patriot League Pitcher of the Year completes a marvelous pitching duo for the Scarlet and White that has all but completely neutralized every opposing offense across the board. We've seen what Boaz is made of during her first 4 seasons on Commonwealth Avenue. Her 1.49 career ERA places her 7th all-time in the Terrier record books. The fact that she isn't even the best Terrier in the circle this season really shows how incredible this pairing of Boaz and Ricard has been. Tremendous pitching makes all the difference, especially for a team hoping to solidify its standing as the Patriot League's premier softball dynasty. Henry, this pitching staff is elite. With a capital E that rhymes with G as in G, those are some great hurlers. But who stands out to you at the plate?
Yeah, Mason. When mentioning this lineup, it only feels right to just talk about the leadoff hitter first. Senior outfielder Lauren Kelleher has been the perfect player to kickstart this BU lineup. The 2-time All-Patriot League first-teamer is having her best year yet. Kelleher has been the best hitter in this Terrier lineup. She's tied for the best batting average on the team, hitting .430, and she also has elite power. Her .673 slugging percentage and 5 home runs lead all Terriers. And Kelleher's defense has been unmatched as well. She has a perfect fielding percentage in 56 chances, and she has one of the best defensive highlights of the year, a web gem in right field, snagging a foul ball while colliding with the fence. It earned her a 3rd-place spot on the SportsCenter Top 10. Head coach Ashley Waters said it best when she said, "Lauren is elite in every aspect." But Mason, there are a lot of other great players following Kelleher in this lineup. Which one has stood out most to you?
Well, yeah, Kayla Ronson to me is off to another electrifying start to the season, hitting .430 herself so far and leading the Terriers with 114 at-bats. She's been a force at the plate during her senior season, just as we've come to expect from the 2-time Patriot League Player of the Year. In the doubleheader sweep against Army on March 22nd, Ronson led the charge with 5 hits and 9 ABs. Ronson went 2 for 5 in Game 1. Then she helped the Terriers jump out to a 4-0 lead in Game 2 off a triple to center and a score on Caitlin Coker's double in the top of the first, plus a 2 RBI single to right in the second. Then BU's last matchup against UConn on March 26th was business as usual for Ronson, delivering a huge 2-out, 2 RBI single, cool as a cucumber in the top of the second, and putting the Terriers ahead 3-0. BU never looked back, grabbing a 6-3 win before completing the sweep over the Huskies. Kayla Ronson is a machine, Henry, and this season she's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, you've got it, Mason. These Terriers are really lined up for a chance to repeat another time for the Patriot League title.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think to lock it into place, I just have a quick magic trick.
Okay, let's see. What do you have in mind?
Well, I think I can make a softball appear out of thin air.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm
give me
curious
a
to
second.
see.
Whoa!
Henry, wait a minute. I don't think that's a softball. Let me see that real quick.
No, it's soft. Here, look at it.
Yeah, okay. All right, it's soft. Close enough, Henry. I like it. That's a good sign. So with that, we'll throw it over to Brooke on the latest with men's lacrosse.
Thanks, Mason and Henry. For the first time in program history, the BU men's lacrosse team made history by defeating the #1 ranked team in the country on March 22nd on Nickerson Field. The lacrosse team delivered a spectacular performance, securing a 14-9 win against Army West Point and ruining their perfect 7-0 record. Right from the opening whistle, BU asserted their dominance on the field, earning a commanding 4-0 lead early in the matchup and maintaining it the remainder of the game. Graduate student Louis Perfetto and senior Tommy Borg led the Terriers with 4 points apiece, while junior Brendan Kelly notched 3 goals for his second straight hat trick. 5 other Terriers joined in on the scoring, contributing to the decisive victory. With Army scoring an average of 15.71 goals per game, goaltender Will Barnes stood out, making 15 saves and only letting 9 slip past him. 5 days later, the Terriers traveled down to Durham, North Carolina, where they lost in a defensive showdown against the 5th-ranked Duke. Despite a valiant effort, they were defeated 11-10. The Terriers kept the game close throughout, leveling the score 5-5 at halftime and rallying from a 9-6 deficit in the third to knot it up at 9-9. The Blue Devils took a 10-9 lead before Tommy Borg tied up the game 10-10 with just over 6 minutes left. However, Duke managed to score the game winner with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the final regulation. Back on another high note, the Terriers traveled over to Worcester, where they clinched their 4th consecutive Patriot League game against Holy Cross with a commanding 22-6 win. Graduate student Vince D'Alto carved his name in history by notching his 100th career assist, becoming one of only 2 players in program history to record 100 goals and 100 assists as Terriers. Junior Brendan Kelly stood out in the game, netting a career high of 6 goals, while an additional 11 Terriers contributed to the scoring frenzy, securing their win over Holy Cross. The Terriers go on to face Yale on Tuesday, April 9th at home. That's it for men's lacrosse. Here's Caitlin and Sophia with men's ice hockey.
Thanks, Brooke. The Terriers punched their ticket to the Frozen Four on Saturday, beating the Minnesota Golden Gophers 6-3 in the regional final. But the journey back to the Frozen Four this year hasn't always been smooth, has it, Sophia?
No, it has not. BU's Hockey East regular season ended in a heartbreaking 6-2 loss to Green Line rivals Boston College. BC scored 2 unanswered goals in the first period, but BU gained some momentum, allowing Gavin McCarthy to score his first collegiate goal in the second period. The Terriers struggled on a penalty kill, going 1 for 5, which allowed BC to grab the Lamorello Trophy. The Terriers traveled out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the opening round of the Frozen Four and faced Rochester Institute of Technology. How did that first game go, Caitlin?
It was a nail-biter for sure, Sophia. While the Terriers beat the Tigers 6-3, the Atlantic Hockey Association champs came out with a dominant offense right off the bat. RIT had 13 shots on net in the first period, while BU had a measly 6. BU struggled on defense with sloppy plays and wide shots. Lane Hudson had the first goal of the game and gave the Terriers the push they needed for Ryan Green to net another within a minute of Hudson's. RIT answered with a power play goal, but the Terriers had shaken out the nerves and were coming out on top of the Tigers offensively. With 19 shots in the second period and goals from Sam Stevens and Macklin Celebrini, his first NCAA tournament goal, the tide was turning for the Terriers. Jack Harvey netted the 5th goal of the game, followed by an empty netter by Dylan Peterson to round out the scoring for BU. We have to give RIT credit for putting up a fight, especially in the first period, but ultimately they were no match to the Terriers. Saturday, BU moved on to face Minnesota, whom they had lost to in last year's Frozen Four, a loss which they had not forgotten.
Definitely not. The Terriers remembered their last meeting and came back with vengeance. BU came out with much better momentum than their previous game and were able to dominate Minnesota in a number of shots. However, Minnesota's shots were more accurate and they took advantage of every opportunity to net the first 2 goals of the game. Just 14 seconds later, Quinn Hudson came in hot and scored an unassisted goal to put BU on the scoreboard. The Terriers themselves had a second period, didn't they, Caitlin?
You're right about that. We saw some of the best playing by the Terriers this season and right when it counted most. After the game, head coach Jay Pandolfo said this may have been Lane Hudson's best game of the season, and I would have to agree. He was constantly setting up plays and keeping the puck moving. He scored to give the Terriers the lead in the second period. BU was excellent at shutting down the third period to finish off the game with a 3-point lead. Want to tell us about some of those goals, Sophia?
Absolutely. We saw a goal from freshman Jack Harvey, who's playing in his first NCAA championship, and empty netters from Case McCarthy and Sam Stevens. Macklin Celebrini also had himself a game with 3 assists to bring his tournament point tally to 5. In a rare occurrence, the game had no penalties from either team. This definitely was helpful for the Terriers, who struggled so much on the penalty kill in the Hockey East Finals. After this huge win, what's next for the team, Caitlin?
Yeah, looking forward, the Terriers will face the University of Denver in the semifinal round of the Frozen Four. The Pioneers started their tournament with a tough semifinal game against UMass, which ended 2-1 in double overtime. In the Springfield Regional Final, they bested Cornell 2-1 in another close-fought battle. Despite these low scores, this won't be an easy matchup for the Terriers, will it, Sophia?
Absolutely not. Denver is tied with Michigan for the most ever NCAA titles, having hoisted the trophy a total of 9 times, and this season, the Pios have the highest performing offense in college hockey, scoring an average of 4.71 goals per game. Jack Devine, a Hobie Baker finalist and leading scorer for the Pios, will certainly be a player to look out for. With 27 goals and 29 assists this season, the junior forward cannot be ignored on the ice, but Denver's biggest strength lies on the back line.
Freshman defenseman Zeev Buyum will undoubtedly play a big role in the semifinal game. The young star leads Denver with 38 assists and has proven himself invaluable to the Pios. The only defenseman matching Buyum's numbers this year has been the Terriers' own Lane Hudson. Denver's high-powered offense could prove to be a challenge for the Terriers, but no matter what, the matchup will certainly be one to watch. Now let's throw it over to Allison with women's lacrosse.
Thanks, guys. The BU women's lacrosse team has hit a skid recently, losing their past 6 games. Their last victory came on February 28th at Stonehill College, with the Terriers winning 16-15. Since then, they've been riddled with tough losses, including a brutal 23-5 loss to number 3 ranked Boston College on March 6th. Most recently, they fell at Nickerson Field in double overtime to Lafayette College, 10-9. The team fought hard with the Leopards, scoring 36 seconds into the game and ending the first quarter up 3-1. Junior Hannah Tillier revived the Terriers late in the fourth quarter, scoring 2 goals, including the equalizer with 18 seconds left. Both teams fought hard during the first overtime period, registering 2 shots each. But unfortunately, the Terriers lost after the Leopards won the opening draw of the second overtime and raced down the field to put one in the back of the net. Next, the Terriers will take a break from league play as they head north to UMass Lowell on April 3rd. Ryan, Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. And that's all we have time for tonight on Terrier Nation. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and X for the latest Terrier sports updates at Terrier Nation 10. I'm Haley Alvarez-Lauto.
And I'm Ryan Whitehouse. From all of us here at Terrier Nation, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.